Hey guys, Ash here, coming at you today and Watcher of Realms. Welcome to the video, guys. Glad to have you here. Today we're going to talk about fighters. Now, I slacked on building any really solid fighters for a long time outside of Wrath in the early game, and I regretted it. Now I've invested in a bunch of the heroes that we're going to talk about today, so I have a lot of first-hand experience. I'm going to rank them from 10 to 1, but this is like, what, the fourth ranking video, the class ranking video that we've done here on the channel. We've done marksmen, we've done mages, and we've done defenders most recently, but this was the most challenging list out of all of them by far, because frankly there's a lot of good fighters in the game, so there's going to be a lot of snubs on this list. I also have probably the most experience because, well, every week that goes by and we do another one of these videos, I've played and actually used a lot of more of these heroes, so I have a healthy respect for a bunch that didn't make the list as well. Anyway, a few that I wanted to give a quick couple shout outs to. I don't have Deimos, but I wish I did. Deimos, I don't know. Either way, I wish I did, because he wrecks me in the arena. Shout out to Deimos, Ash. Shout out to Deimos. He's really cool. Also, guys, massive shout out to Volka. We get her from the campaign, from finishing the campaign in the game. She just barely, it was tight there at the bottom of this list, so honorable mention to her as well. But starting out with number 10 on our list today, guys, is going to be none other than Ratchet. Comes in at number 10, guys. She has a talent: when she attacks unblocked targets, increases damage by 20% and crit rate by 10%, which is very, very nice to have. She also has a poison in her kit on the passive. Attacks inflict spider toxin to the target, dealing 10% magic damage per second for 3 seconds. When a target dies under that spider toxin effect, it will explode, dealing some AoE damage and inflicting poison. So a great poison option, but she's also a lord, right? I say this because she's a piercing vision 3 lord, and she's used probably a lot of times just for her lord ability, because poison is great, but she doesn't have the highest DPS out there, especially compared to some of the other heroes we're going to talk about on the list. But her faction lord ability, obviously incredibly valuable. So increased faction allies basic attributes by 15%. Faction allies attack ranges are also increased, extremely valuable. And for every 1 tile away the target, increases their damage by 5% up to 50%. Now, she's specifically in gear rate 3, she makes it a cinch. She makes it super easy, especially with that range boost. So that's why she vaulted into the number 10 spot over, you know, other capable heroes like we mentioned already in the honorable mentions. So at number 9, guys, we have Cerberus. So Cerberus is very misunderstood because he has a very complex kit. He's a cultist and he's chaotic as well, which is nice. His talent reads like a novel, right? Summons a water of decay at the location of the enemy with the highest HP at the cost of 20% of max HP every 14 seconds, inflicting 30% AoE damage every second for 6 seconds. Whenever this hero takes damage, the cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds. This hero cannot be healed or revived by allies, and each death extends the revival time by 30 seconds. So he's all built around dying, and he can't be healed or revived, which is very interesting. But with all that being said, he has a few other cool mechanics about his kit. Number 1 is the second passive, Evil Anointing, reduces this hero's first deployment cost by 6. So his first deployment is going to cost you only 11, okay? He has a 2 block as well, by the way. Upon his first death, reduces the next deployment cost of every allied mage by 1. So really cool cost reduction built into his kit, okay? He has arena cost reduced as well by 2. So how does he work, right? We have to actually look at his first passive, Water of Decay. Upon death, he generates a ground effect area underneath, dealing 100% AoE damage per second for 12 seconds. So this is absolutely insane area DPS over time, okay? His death effect is really amazing. Now, if he dies with a bunch of attacks, or attack buffs up, excuse me, and he's using his ultimate at the same time as he dies, so you can time it correctly, he deals some of the most impressive damage that you've seen out there in the game. There's a bunch of YouTube videos highlighting this dude as well if you want to see that. I checked them out before today's video. Yeah, man, he's a really, really cool champion, but again, a lot of things going on there, a lot of mechanics, but you put it all together and you understand him and you learn how to use him. He's actually really, really good. Coming in at number 8, Valeria. So Valeria, you guys might call it a snub. I actually think this is a really good ranking because everybody above her also is incredible. There's a lot of good fighters in the game. Now, she used to be one of the more underwhelming fighters in the game, but she received a big buff, okay? She's also chaotic and Nightmare, which is really cool. Her talent is increases attack and defense. This is a new talent, by the way. She didn't used to have a talent at all pre-buff. Increases attack and defense as HP drops. When HP drops to 30%, the increase peaks at 60%, okay? Her cost is reduced in the arena by 4, okay? So that's really, really solid, bringing her cost down to 13 for the arena. And as a member of the Nightmare faction as well, she's gonna be tremendous on other Nightmare teams, Hatsuit, Wrath, the Toreador, those sort of squads, right? So really cool there. She has Unyielding, which is great. She's not gonna take damage when she's about to die. Now that's really key here on her passive because she deals great DPS. I'm not going to go over her entire kit nor the kits of all these any of these champions, but she has a great blood infusion ultimate. It does really good damage, but the reason she's ranked a little bit lower than I'm sure some would have her is because she's very squishy, even compared to a lot of the other fighters on the list today. Now, granted, she does bring that Unyielding, which is great, right? Really, really imperative that we have that in her kit to help keep her alive so we can heal her up. But she's really not tanking anybody at all. She's just there for DPS and a lot of it. Very, very nice DPS. More sustained, longer battles like Guild Boss. It can be tricky, again, to keep her alive, but if you can, she can deal some insane damage, out damaging a lot of the other fighters on today's list. Coming in at number 7. Now, this might be my most controversial choice on today's list. It is Valkur. I love, love, love this fighter, okay? She's ranked, if you look at, like, if you Google tier lists of fighters, she's not on the top 10 of many tier lists. I pulled her, and I wasn't expecting, you know, the best hero in the game or anything crazy like that, but I am so impressed with her. I really am. She deals magic and her range is insane, right? So you can put her behind your defender, a few tiles behind your defender, she's still gonna hit the units. In Artifact Raid, similar to Zillu, you can place her on the top and she can still hit targets on the bottom, the spawning on the bottom, right? Which is really key. She's a big part of my team for that reason, right? Moreover, though, she's dealing really nice damage. I was really surprised. I heard she didn't deal a lot of damage. I was really surprised with the damage that I got out of her, but she also has increases attack by 3% for every 17 seconds, up to 8 times, and that lasts permanently. So she's stacking her own attack as the battle goes, so the sooner we can get her on the map or the battlefield, the better. And she has Miracle. She's like a paladin. She revives an ally. She's a rare reviver in this game, and restores their HP that can scale up to 100%, right? That can be triggered 1 time per deployment. So now she's reviving, right? She also has on her basic attack, she has AoE damage and magic damage reduction, right? So she's a debuffer too. Man, I'm so high on this hero. Maybe I should have put her even higher than this, but yeah, I wanted to include her because I absolutely love her. I have no idea why. And on A1, by the way, you can enhance her range as well. Range +1, even more insane range on this hero. See, I don't know why people undervalue her on other tier lists, but I love her. Coming in at number 6 is Lugaro, or Lugaruski. Either way, his talent is Lethal Strike. Every 12 seconds, the hero consumes 20% of the current HP to trigger Lethal Strike 1 time, dealing 180% damage. When HP is below 50%, the damage will increase by 60, okay? So really, really cool. He has arena damage increased as well by 15%, which is really nice. This dude is in some ways a little similar to Cerberus. However, I think he's better, right? he can be healed, unlike Cerberus. He's just killing himself. We can heal this dude. The cool thing is we need to really run him with a support healer on most situations to make sure that he's not dying, right, from his own abilities. He's also applying bleed, right? So bleed is one of the most sought after debuffs out there in the game. It deals damage equal to 1% of the target's max HP per second and increases their physical damage taken by 10% if 5-second duration doesn't stack. So a bleed champion, really good. Just love him. Great for the arena, but great basically everywhere. What do we have on the reviews on this guy anyway? Faction trial, arena single target, artifact material raid, sustained DPS in the arena, guild boss, EXP, gold, tide, gear raid 2 as well. So this guy very versatile in just a lot of damage. And I should say 2 tiles as well, 2 tile range on him. So there's a lot of application and a lot of damage, which is what we want out of our fighters. Coming in at number 5 is Zillu. So Zillu is the queen. She is the queen of damage in Guild Boss, guys. She's amazing. She's amazing. She can hit both ground and air, which makes her incredibly versatile as well. The only reason I don't have her as top 3 or top 4 on our list is really to get the most out of Zillu. And you can see her range, again, really incredible. She's got the side tiles, the adjacent tiles, and the nice range in front of her as well. Great burst damage. Also, each attack launch deals extra true damage equal to 40% attack 1 time if the target's HP is higher than 80%. She's dealing true damage in her kit. She charges on her second passive. After every 3 seconds of not dealing damage, she increases damage by 5% per second up to 25%, and then the charge energy will be consumed in 1 second and the damage increase will end. So very cool things going on in her kit. Also, blocked targets take more damage, so great to position behind or next to a tank or a defender on your team. Very cool. Does she have, where are the skin? Ooh, I haven't seen her Wings of Doom skin before. That's very cool. What do you guys think of the look there? I kind of like that, man. That's really cool. You can even look around there. So that's Zillu, guys. I will say she's the queen of the highest damage dealing guild boss champion out there as well, but she really needs an Inferno Lord to really truly shine there, that which I do not have. So I have not experienced her at her best. Either way, she comes in at number 5. Number 4 on the list is going to be Wrath. I don't know if you guys think I ranked him too high, but I love him. I love me some Wrath. Typical 2 block, 16 cost on this dude. He's an epic lord in Nightmare. Nightmare, one of the strongest factions in the game. I'm still using this dude almost everywhere. You know, I was just completing Void Rift, and I used him on almost every team. And you can add that to the list, man. He's one of the more versatile champions or heroes out there in the game. Great damage. He's got a plus 15 crit on his talent as well. Very, very nice. And of course, his A5, right? Once you get him to A5, Awakened 5 on Wrath, I mean, he can tank, he can self-sustain, right? Because when Heavy Blow is triggered, the hero restores HP equal to 30% of the damage dealt. So he can be a fighter who can tank for you with incredible DPS that doesn't necessarily need a healer's support. So man, we all get him for free. That's the best part of Wrath. He comes in at number 4. I love Wrath. Even as somebody who spends on this game, I love the freebie hero they threw at us on day 14. Coming in at number 3 is Abomination, guys. I love me some Abomination. Oh, permanent fusion inside the game. Everybody should fuse this dude. The tier list that I consulted for today's video had him, nobody had him this high at number 3. Well, I do. I really do. The more I invest in him, the more I give him better gear. You can say this for every champion, but especially on Abomination. The more I max him out and promote everything, right? The more he impresses the heck out of me, right? I don't have him fully skilled up, but I have him close to now. And just the damage he's doing, the sustainability that he's doing, he is the highest HP in the game, right? Out of any fighter in the game by far. So this guy can truly tank. They call him late game multi-target attack. I don't know, just insane damage. How about that? I don't know if he's in late game or early game or whatever. He has invulnerability, excuse me. When his HP drops below 40%, he gains invulnerability, lasts for 4 seconds, and then restores HP equal to 30%. Oh man, he's amazing. Look at his base HP here, guys. His base HP is 30k. 30k. So you can build him with so much attack and so much HP, make him an incredible tank, incredible DPS, incredible fighter. He's Nightmare again. I love Abomination, man. He's really, really good. He's got AoE damage. Can you tell I'm a massive, massive fan of Abomination? If you're lucky enough to pull him, as I said, you can still fuse him and get a stun on A1. The charge attack triggered by basic attack will inflict the target with stun additionally. So very, very nice to add to him as well. What a versatile, incredible hero. Speaking of versatility, number 2 is Arrogance, and he is arguably the most versatile fighter inside the entire game. Actually, it's not arguable. I think he is. He's the most versatile. You can use him pretty much everywhere. His talent is Demon Blow, inflicts burning on the target for 7 seconds, a 20% magic damage. Demon Blades in normal stance, 30% chance to increase hero's attack speed by 40, stacks up to 3 times for 10 seconds. Okay, he has great DPS, really, in all formats, right? He's got single target damage to enemies further away or airborne with the Demon Bow. Look at his range over here. He's anti-air as well, which I should have mentioned the first thing. Man, I mean, look at him on the upper corner here. Look at that, dude. I mean, this guy is insane. So why not number 1 then, if he's so insane? I don't think that Arrogance is necessarily the best at any one thing, but because of the air targeting, because of his talent, the burning, because of his overall DPS, because of his range, everything that he brings to the table, he's like right up there as almost the best in every category, right? And you put that all together,
there's always someone better.
With that amazing versatility, he is a hero that you will use the day that you build him until forever, hopefully, unless there's extreme power creep in this game. Anyway, let's go to number 1, guys. Number 1, I wish I had him, is Salazar. Now this one, I feel like every tier list has Salazar as number 1, so this one is not a shocker. I'm not going so far out on the limb. He is the highest single target DPS in the game, bar none, right? I mean, the reason he's number 1, boss killer, right? He has the bleed debuff, right? He has bleed on his basic, deals damage 1% of the target's max HP per second for 4 seconds, and increases their physical damage taken. Really, in terms of burst damage, he is just, I mean, you can see it right here on Smashing Blitz on his ult. I mean, it just absolutely just annihilates bosses, right? And in this game, when you can annihilate a boss very early on a battle, it just makes the whole entire thing so much easier, right? You just clear content a lot easier when you don't have to worry about the boss, because Salazar is a one-man wrecking crew. He takes care of everything. Obviously a 2-block, 17 cost. His first passive, Boiling Blood, launches a basic attack on one enemy, 35% damage 2 times. Second attack will guarantee a crit hit if the target's inflicted with bleed, which they normally are because he brings it again on his basic. Restores 3% max HP for every 7 critical hits landed on his second passive. So again, now he's self-sustaining as well. I mean, he has everything we want from a fighter, starting with a ton of burst damage. So Salazar is my most wanted fighter, also comes in at number 1 on our list today, guys. Where did I go right? Where did I go wrong? Let me know in the comments below, especially if I ever forgot one of your favorite fighters. Let me know in the comments and maybe I'll build them and make a follow-up video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the top 10 healers in the game. Subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and as always, take care, guys.